Hello, and welcome back to Luke's Economics. In today's video, I'm going to talk a bit about my predictions on the economy for the next short to maybe medium term. So this is going to be talking about tariffs with regards to America and tariffs that they're imposing on other countries. So the first thing I think is that Trump is very unpredictable, but I think my dad asked an interesting question last night at the dinner table, which was, what does Trump care the most about? And I said, the economy. And he said, okay, what's the thing that he cares the second most about? And I said, immigration. But I think that the thing that Trump does care about the most is the economy. So if I had to expect, no one knows what Trump wants. It's very unpredictable. We can see that in the markets. I think that he doesn't want to start a tariff war because it will not be good for America's economy. So to my understanding, what that means is that we can expect to see some short-term volatility, but I believe that over the long run, as in he's only going to be a president for, I believe, 4 years, unless if something happens and it ends up being shorter. So I think that within the 4 years at the end, we'll see we'll see growth in the American economy and in like S&P 500 stocks, all that kind of stuff. But I believe that in the short term, we will see, well, we currently see this volatility from him threatening the tariffs and stuff like that. But I don't think that he wants to engage in a long-term tariff war because of what it would mean for the American economy, and because Trump cares about, what does he care about? He cares about being rich and having power, which kind of go hand in hand. So I couldn't actually see him doing something like that unless if there is incentive for him in the form of power or money. And by that, I mean continuing the trade war for a prolonged period of time. I think there would have to be an economic incentive for him to do that, which I don't really see being the case. So that leaves to the question, how do I feel about this? In my opinion, in the short term, what you will see, which we have seen, and I will say that I predicted this when he first threatened the tariffs. When he first threatened the tariffs, that's about a month ago, I think, on Canada and Mexico. Not when he threatened them on China, but that as well. I said that I think that it would be smart. I told my dad to invest in gold. I said, invest in gold because what Trump is threatening is going to cause volatility in the stock markets. Granted, it didn't happen until later because they didn't think that he would actually go forward on his plans, which we still see now, that hesitancy in the stock market where you see a lot of just hovering at around zero until the day ends and the trades close, and then you see them jump up or down depending on if he actually implements the tariffs or not, or depending on how far he goes with that. So I told my dad to invest in stock because I think that when the stock market is volatile, where will people invest their money instead? Gold and like housing. But I think that housing, I think it's got a bit more of a long-term trajectory in the sense of I believe it's a lot easier to go and buy $100,000 worth of gold as opposed to go and buy a new house. But oh yeah, disclaimer, this is not financial advice. This is just my interpretation of what's happening in the economy right now. So I think that in the short term, with Trump doing these tariffs and stuff like that, I expect the stock market to fall, and I expect the gold market to be profitable because people will switch from the stock market to the gold market for alternative investments, as well as housing and other substitutes that wealthy people would spend money on other than the stock market. And I think that when that drop fall happens, like for example, if Trump were to announce more tariffs, the stock market is going to crash again. I think that would be the time to buy stocks when it's low, because I believe that Trump cares about the economy a lot. And for the long term of his presidency, he will not want the economy to be doing this, being in a tariff war and doing poorly. He'll want the American economy to be doing very well. So I would think that if he cuts tariffs again, or if the stock market crashes because of more of his actions, I believe that that will be a temporary shock, a temporary volatility, but not the long-term trajectory that he will want over his 4-year campaign. So that is my prediction, is that I believe that the gold market and the other investments of the wealthy, like housing, gold market, those kind of alternatives to the stock market, will rise when the economy is in high volatility, as it is now with the tariffs. And I believe that that would be a good time, because people will be selling stocks, a good time to invest in stocks, because I believe that Trump does ultimately care about the economy, and after he's gotten what he wants, which who knows what he wants, who knows what he's actually planning, but to my mind, what he's planning is not having a long-term tariff war. There's some underlying thing that he wants that he's trying to acquire. What it is, I don't know. I thought maybe it would be to get out of the NATO agreement. I don't believe that that's what he wants. I believe that it will have something to do with being able to generate him wealth or some sort of income. I'd have to do more analysis on what it would mean, but like if you think of it from his perspective, the fact that he only cares about money or power, what he must want underlying from all these tariff wars is something that would increase his wealth and power, which currently is not what's happening. So I think that there will be a shift in that. I'm not even going to get into him doing the crypto and stuff like that, because that would be like an entire separate video or conversation in itself. But that is my interpretation of what's going to happen, is that when he's doing these tariff threats or promises, we'll say threats until he acts on them, the economy will be volatile. It's very uncertain. You can see that by the stock market, how they aren't making decisions till the end of the day. I think that when that's happening, you'll see gold prices increase. You'll see housing prices increase because rich people who would be in the stock market are going to be putting their assets elsewhere that can correct for this high volatility. And I believe that would be a good time to invest in the stock market when it's down, because I believe that ultimately Trump cares about the American economy and his wealth. So I believe that in the long-run trajectory of his presidency campaign over the next 3-4 years, you will see the stock markets go up and recover back from the crash that happens in the short-term volatility. This is me putting my economic prediction out there. I don't know if I'll be right. I don't get anything for being right or being wrong. I'm a broke university student. But this is my interpretation of what's happening in the economy, this is my interpretation of the Donald Trump tariffs and how I feel about that. And like I said, I do think that this is still highly subject to volatility, in the sense that I don't know exactly what Trump wants, other than the fact that he wants more power and money, but I don't know what method he's going to go by implementing to get that result, and how it's going to look like and impact the economy and I guess the world in general, or the global economy in general. So this video I'm just going to put out in a rush. I'm just making this because I want to make my prediction now, so that way if I can see how this is correct, how this is incorrect, and hopefully learn from my mistakes, or know that I'm at least interpreting something correctly. So I will try to make more videos. I will try to not be a slacker. If there's any comments or any opinions anyone has, please feel free to let them know. I'm very curious to see what other people think. I love to learn. I love to understand this better. Thank you very much. Good luck.